Welcome! When I mention sprawling, action-packed, swords and sorcery RPG, I dare say your mind will go to either The Witcher 3 or Skyrim. As it should. They're amazing. Possibly my two favourite RPGs of all time. But there's another contender for the title. I give you Dragon's Dogma, Dark Arisen. This is actually a remaster of a game that was released on the 7th generation. And you know how much I like that. Upcoming videos soon. So, subscribe. And I've got to say, this game has got the best combat I've ever played in this style of game, bar none. And I've played a lot of them over the years. Now I actually got the Switch version. It's also available on the PS4, PS5, Xbox One and Xbox Series X and S. So you can pretty much play it wherever you want to. Now I will go ahead and say it is not quite as long as your Skyrims and your Witcher 3s. But that isn't necessarily a bad thing, because it's still a decent length of campaign, and like most RPGs, to a degree, you control the length of it by how many side quests you do, how much grinding you do for resources, how much exploration. Trust me, you're still going to be able to put a lot of time in it. Likewise with the map. Is it as big as Skyrim's? No. But it's still more than decent, and is equal to any open world game you'll play right now. Also, there's a lot going on with it. From hidden areas, yes, you've got your dungeons, to just random encounters as you walk along. You can do so much here. You can discover hidden areas which you just don't expect to be there. The landscape is absolutely beautiful, with mountains and buildings coming upon you. When you walk into the main city, to the main castle, and you just see it in the distance, you really get that feeling of, wow, is this Camelot? The story is absolutely brilliant. Now, as you all know, if you've seen my other videos, I never do spoilers. But as this is the opening cutscene, I feel I can talk a little bit about it. You play as the Arisen. Basically, you're attacked by a dragon, and he eats your heart. Yet you rise. It's a little bit like Dragonheart for adults, if you like. And as the Arisen, you're seen as a very powerful warrior. And indeed you are. Well, if you're good at the game. As you may expect, you can choose your classes. They all have different names, but it comes down to the same thing of mage, warrior and archer. And there's also further classes you can unlock, which are good combinations between the two. I like the combination of the warrior and the archer. That way, if I want to go sword and shield, I can, maybe if I'm in a dungeon. Yet equally, the long range attack aspect is pretty important, especially against flying enemies. But you are not alone on your travels, and this is where I feel the game not only excels, but separates itself. You have companions, known as pawns, a bit like on a chessboard. These are, they're not quite human, they're not quite anything else. Think of them a little bit like a clone. They don't particularly have a will of their own, and do as they're told. Yes, you can get them in the same classes you can unlock for yourself, so you can really tailor-make your team as you want it. And you've got a couple of options. First of all, you've got your basic commands. Go forward, come here, and help. And they all work as they should. Yet I find when I'm in a battle, apart from using the help button if I'm running low on health, it's better just to let the AI do its job. Because here's the thing. This is a game where you have up to 3 companions, so you're the 4th, and the AI doesn't suck. I know, it's hard to believe. They do have the occasional kamikaze moment, don't get me wrong, but in general, the AI for your companions is really, really good. I never found them getting in the way, blocking entrances and exits, causing me to die. They just actually were really, really helpful. Not only can they help you carry goods, so therefore you can really have as many different ingredients to make potions, different healing items, different weapon items, different armor sets, different items of jewellery and amulets, and so much more. You can just let them help you in the battle. I dare say, had I tried to go this game alone and not use the pawn system, not only would I have missed out on a really key aspect of the game, I wouldn't have been able to do it. It's that integral, and it works that well. Play around with it, You'll find that it's great fun having different combinations of classes, especially when you're on different quests, because you can't really use the same outfit on every single one, at least not if you want to be as efficient as possible. And that is, again, part of the fun of discovering this action RPG. And the combat itself for you. Oh, the combat. I love it. This is one of the few games where you have random encounters. I didn't find myself getting frustrated because I just wanted to get from A to B without being interrupted 10 times. I enjoyed it. I really loved personalising my character, from outfit to weapons. I enjoyed discovering the new skills and using them to fine-tune exactly what I find useful and when. It's a real pleasure to play. Yes, on some of the weaker enemies, if you want to, you can just say to your pawns, go get them, and sit back and watch the carnage. But I like to get involved, get stuck in, get the bow out, get the sword out. I haven't played as a mage class yet because I just prefer the other two, but I dare say that's good fun and I will be doing it. And when you get your bigger enemies, you can climb on top of them. A little bit like Shadow of the Colossus, although the enemies aren't quite on that scale, I've got to be honest with you. I don't think any game's got enemies quite on that scale as Shadow of the Colossus. That's what makes it its own special game. Be it Ogre, where you jump on his back, climb upon his shoulders and stab him in the eye. Be it a dragon, or some sort of griffin, where you can chop off a head or a tail to find the weak spots. It really adds an extra dimension to the combat, and it just makes it so interesting. The majority of enemies you find will have different strengths, different weaknesses. For instance, near water you'll quite often find these lizard people, I forget their name in the game, and they're really quite tough enemies. Unless you get behind them and chop the tail off, then they fall like a feather. But I really enjoyed discovering that. I enjoyed the battles where it got to that stage, my failures and successes, and that's just one enemy type in a sprawling world. And if you're feeling really brave, by getting this remastered Dark Arisen version, you get access to the Black Isle, which is a whole other bonus area of the game, and that is tough as nails. But I'll let you discover that on your own. If you've played this game, or if you think you might want to, please let me know in the comments. I think it's superb. It's probably my favourite game I've played this year, definitely my favourite RPG of this year, and I look forward to seeing you in the next one. Ta-da!